Hello and welcome back to Hollowponds Solo Sagas. So we will be playing what is most likely, almost definitely, it will be our last session of the Electric State today. This is our session 10. We have progressed from Baker in near the Mojave Desert. We crossed across to Los Angeles, then we went up the coastline. We stopped off at the Air Force Base where there were some revelations about Don. Don then managed to surf at Pismo Beach, but sadly when we reached Morro Bay, we discovered that it had been taken over by some large drone growths and Don wasn't able to surf Morro Bay. The drone growth took note of our travellers and then followed them further up the coast to Harmony, I think it was. At Harmony there was a confrontation between the drone growth and our travellers, who were very ill-equipped for such a thing, and sadly Don lost his life in that confrontation. Then last session we dealt with the ramifications of that. Molly and Kurt went into a depression and is still in depression. Molly then was trying to deal with all the situation. Molly's father contacted her, because Molly's personal threat clock had clicked on, in saying that he wanted to know where she was, and she informed him. We then encountered a big banana as a roadside attraction, and we moved into San Francisco. Then we saw a car henge, which was very weird. One of the cults that's risen up due to the demise of society had constructed it. We have 4 cards left in our deck. 4 cards left. I don't know what they are. I probably could go through the discards. This is our discards. We could go through the discard. If you've got an eidetic memory, I'll do this, and you can know then what must be left to come out. If you've got like one of those magicians who can do that with a deck of cards. I, on the other hand, can't. So we would open on the image, which the only really good one I could find, because it was graffitied, which is probably what it would look like in the Demise of Society, is actually from one of the Watchmen series, Watch Dogs rather, which is that sign, which is probably over there now. So we see that and we're rolling in. Kurt still hasn't really been talking very much to Molly, so Molly would be driving, as Kurt would not want to drive, so we probably have Molly as our primary for this. As Molly is our primary, we would probably roll past to come up to look at the Golden Gate Bridge. Sorry about that, Cat. I just all of a sudden realised, as I said, roll up and see the Golden Gate Bridge. So I realised I don't actually know where that is, but I just found out. It is where I thought it is. It crosses this bit here. Would that be called a peninsula? 2 peninsulas? Would that be in this bay here? So it crosses across here, which was what the plan was originally, which I realised. So the Stonehenge was around here at Scott's Valley. They would have come up around and then they'd be coming up towards the Golden Gate Bridge, which is what Molly has as her goal, is to see the Golden Gate Bridge. She has posters of the Golden Gate Bridge in her room. She has various things. So what Mandy said to me before I started filming, give it a happy ending. And I was like, I don't think this game is built for happy endings, but I know what I think is going to happen, and I know what I... So as a solo discussion, so when I start, particularly parts of the story, I have in my head what I think is going to happen with the story, and I might interpret the cards to that tilt. But if the cards go completely the other way, I will go the other way. Not to trigger anyone when it comes to Agile, but I used to be a Scrum Master. I still should be, but I lost my job. When you have a retrospective, you might have a plan for what you want to happen, but you still have to read the room and read what people want. And I do that with the cards. I don't know why I told you any of that. Let's turn the card and see what we get. Now, with this card, we work out what the state of the Golden Gate Bridge is. So as we come up, I guess we're going to come off a ramp to go towards, or we're going to go to a vantage point to look across the Golden Gate Bridge So probably Molly is going to start heading around to this point here. I mean, Kurt wants to come around here as well because I think the saloon bar is around this place here. And so also, I don't know how long this session is going to be, so I might fill it with talking, because if the two things happen that I think are going to happen, that might happen, we'll find out. So Molly will come around and park up, and then she will get out of the car, and then Kurt will kind of slowly get out of the car with Rocket. The area is very desolate. The area would be run down. The area wouldn't be great, and the bridge looks... Okay. So not only is it a black card, so this would be the tilt. So this is almost, so this is extremely bad. The bridge isn't really there anymore. There obviously it was taken to quite a hit. So when was the Civil War? 10 years, 20 years ago? Nothing has been repaired since then. You can see there's framework around it and scaffolding of where they tried to, but there is still the debris of, like that drone that's collapsed there. One is collapsed across the bridge. You can see the bridge is partially collapsed. Its shine isn't there anymore. It's looking desolate. It does not look. So we could cut to Molly holding her picture, and we would look at, so camera wise, we would have Molly steps out, we would have the picture of the Golden Gate Bridge, and then we would pan up to how it looks now in reality, which is not the same thing as it did look before. It is destroyed. We would need, this would severely knock Molly's hope. Molly needs to roll, empathy roll to maintain hope. Though she's got high hope anyway, she's got a dreamer, so we can give her plot, and then we can resolve what the King of Spades means. King of Spades, yes. I said the Ace of Spades 2 ago, and it was actually the Ace of Clubs. So Molly has 6 hope, and she has a +2 because she's dreamer, which technically gives her 8 hope max, but we're going to give her 2 dice. She needs to get at least 2 hits to survive this. Any ones she rolls, she loses hope. Oh no, that would take her down to 0 hope. Okay, that wouldn't break her. This might break her though, after Don dying, and I think I remember what that is. Personal threat countdown. Okay, so not only does she get up, so okay, shall we put her down to 0? I mean, I did say she'll lose 1, and I just rolled 3. That would put her down to 0 hope. So we're going to put her on the edge. So she is on 1 hope. Now this would shatter her. So she's down to 0 hope. She's going to break down now. So Don has died. Her life was threatened. The bridge isn't there anymore, which is what she was looking forward to. She would be all giggly and happy to have the bridge and be excited. If we were around a table, as a DM, I would be encouraging the player who plays Molly to be excited. I would be saying, oh, don't forget how you remembered how it would be. I'd be encouraging her to have conversations with the other members around the table to get them really amped up and excited and wait for it. And then I would hit them with the Golden Gate Bridge being decimated and desolate. Get her to make this roll. She even got 2 extra dice, which gave her a chance to get more 6s. Give her, which would have negated the ones. Give her the chance to make this roll, and then hit her with the King of Spades, which is the personal threat, which clocks the personal threat to 2, which is just as she's there being shattered by the bridge being gone, her phone starts to ring again. She would, in a stunned state, answer the phone, which we know it's her father again because it's the personal threat, and he is going off. She is now broken. We'll roll her broken afterwards. I mean, Kurt's not really going to be able to do much to help her. So her father will be saying that he is, let's see. So we're going to have a conversation. Maybe she can tell him about Don being in the tank, and we'll have a conversation with them doing that. he is saying that, so what I thought was, because she told him where they were when he phoned, he would have gone as fast as possible to get there. Possibly he could have cleared the time because they stopped and waited at the cafe. They also had Kurt spent a shift in the recovery to get his 1 point of hope back, and various other things had occurred to cause time to pass. So he would have probably had a chance to catch up, and now he knows they're going to, he knows her fascination with the Golden Gate Bridge. So he may already have hit Harmony, did I say it was? I'm pretty sure it's Harmony. I'll talk whilst we're going, you know, just to, yeah, Harmony, it was Harmony. He would have hit Harmony because it's not that far, and that's sort of like halfway up. So he's probably got a couple of shifts to go, and then he would be up there. We could say this is midday. So he is on the phone, he is really angry, he is shouting at her, he's saying, where are you? Maybe she will then start, we'll give it, so she failed that. So she is going to, will she have the wits? Let's give her, she needs to, she's got a wits of 6. Let's see if she can hold herself together. She needs 2 hits not to tell him where they are. 1 hit. And a couple of ones. So if she pushes that, she'll lose even more hope, so she can't, because she's already on 0 hope. So really she shouldn't be able to do any rolls whatsoever. So she tells him that they're at the bridge, tells him, describes it to him. He says, I know, I didn't want you to know this. I didn't want you to see it. I wanted you to live, keep going. You're always so full of hope. She's got a dreamer. You're always so full of hope, you're so intelligent, you've got so much capability, and the world is just not the place for you anymore, Molly. The world is falling apart, and I was trying to protect you from it. I'm making this up as I go along now. I was trying to protect you from it. I didn't want you to be able to see what that was. That's why I was keeping you in Baker. It's safe in Baker. We're isolated. We're not touched by all of this, everything falling apart. Why won't you just come back? And then she's going to look across at Kurt, who is still looking, who is looking even more traumatized. Let's do her break. So we've got, her threat has moved up to 2. Let's do Molly's breakdown, as he's saying, I just wanted to protect you. Probably something to do with her mum as well. That would throw the weight in heavier. Mental trauma. So we have reds as the ones. 51 depressed. We can have them both depressed. I mean, depressed works better. Let's do another roll, but I'm not necessarily going to keep this. I'm probably going to keep depressed. 65. Amnesiac. You cannot remember who you are or other player characters are. Their effect must be role played. No, depressed. Depressed works with this. Her whole world has been shattered. Everything has come down. She has also rolled depressed. He is going to say, I just need to get you to a doctor. There's some good doctors in the Neuroscape. If I can just get you in, I'll just come. I'm nearly there. Just stay there. I'm nearly there. I will come and get you. As he hears, so she starts sobbing down the phone. He can hear that she is in pain, and he steps down. And then he's just saying, come and get you. Right. Molly's done. So they need to, so they're going to, time will pass. It will become later. We will say time has passed. And I think because of time passing, Kurt might have got his 2 hit points back and go back up 4 hit points. He wouldn't recover any more hope. But after a shift, if they can stay there for a shift, which is 6 hours, so maybe there's a coffee stand. Let's pull another dot card. I mean, we've got, that will leave 2 cards left for the saloon and to find out what happens to the saloon. So first off, we're going to pull a card to say, is there a coffee stand, or is there something that they can spend the time, or does the weather go bad? What happens in this scene? Are we going to describe a good scene or a bad scene? All right. The weather goes, because that's mid-tier tilt. That's a mid-black tilt. The weather starts to go. Might as well mark the tilts. We've only got 2 more tilts to go. Oh, we could reshuffle the deck, but I thought it'd be quite cool if we could do the whole of this run in the one deck. We've got 2 cards left. So if you know what they are, I mean, I could say put it down in the comments, but of course you know what it is at that point. So 8 is a medium badness. So as they're there, the rain goes again. It starts to rain again, which would be very iconic for this scene. There looks like there's a little coffee stand over the side. They go over to the coffee stand and there's a closed sign, and the date on it says closed was, I don't know, let's say 95, which was 2 years ago. So it's ramshackled. We're seeing there's a few homeless shanty towns and tents that are set up around. I'm imagining, I don't know if it is, but I'm imagining a viewpoint which has got a concrete bit which comes out slightly onto the riverside, fence along the side. There'd be a little coffee stand on the right hand side, car park just behind us. They've stepped forward where there's some seats. Molly has sat down. It's pouring with rain. The photo is in her hand. She's just been on the phone looking at the photo, looking at the bridge. She puts the phone down. She drops the photo onto the ground. We see the photo land onto the concrete as the rain hits the top of the photo and the water starts to spread across this picture that she's been carrying as Kurt comes across and just sits down next to her. Now, we do have tension between them at this point. So they could relieve this tension over this shift of time sitting here and having this conversation where she would recover 1 hope. They can't rally each other, so no one can be rallied to be instantly come back to, okay? They can't do that, neither of them. They are both just going to wallow in each other's depression for an hour, for several hours in this pouring rain, as the sun starts to set behind the torn apart shreds that was the Golden Gate Bridge, and the metal of the desolate drones that have begun to rust begins as the sun starts to set. The sheen of the parts of the titanium that they're made of to make them extra strong picks up the light slightly as the sun sets behind this shattered head of a goofy shattered drone head as it comes down in very iconic Simon, can't say his surname, imagery. Comes down. We can see that at that point, as the sun starts to set a bit more and the light comes down, we can see the number of drone growths that there are across the skyline that look just like the one that they ran from begin to light up around the skyline and light up the San Francisco skyline. As Kurt says to Molly, as Kurt is now back to 2 hope, Molly is now on 1 hope. Now we could let them resolve their tension between each other to get their hope back up, but I don't know if they would do that in this scene. This scene doesn't feel like that. This scene just feels like Molly will have been sitting and telling Kurt about, maybe we will. So this was this is that she needs hope. We'll resolve this tension. We'll say Molly, because this was two sessions ago when Don died. Molly is going to say to Kurt that, and we'll let them both get 1 hope back, that all she needed was some help, and he wasn't there to help her, and that has just made her feel alone. The bridge is gone. She's crying and expressing herself in as way possible. Kurt tries to dig up the words to create something to make her feel better and can't do it. I think only one of them can get hope back. So we're going to let Molly get that hope back because she's the one who is the key in this scene, and that is the 1 hope that we'll let her get back for that 1 hope in that recovery of hope. And because the sun's setting, I see Kurt. I don't want to turn a card yet because I want those 2 to be for the saloon. 1 to 3, Kurt is going to instigate it. 5, Molly will say, "Do we need to get you to the saloon?" Kurt will say, "Let me show you there," and they are going to walk off towards where the saloon is, because we don't know whether it's still there. Now, this card is to see whether it is open or not. I think this is going to be really short. This card is to see if it's open or not. Now, is the saloon still open? this is to see, so if it's red, it is open. If it is black, it is no longer open. High black, it's closed for good. Low black, I've got another idea. Okay, mid black, that's a low end mid black. So it's boarded up. So they get to the saloon, it's boarded up, but you can see some lights from the inside. Yeah. So it's not really functioning anymore. There's a foreclosure sign on the front of that. Kurt now needs to make his empathy roll because this is his point of desperation. What do we have? We have 1, 6 and 1, 1, so they negate each other, so he doesn't lose any hope. So he is still quite hopeful that though it's foreclosed, that people in the community are still using it, and the community is still using this for what it is supposed to be, a place. And this is this is him turning to Molly. It's still going to be going. The people in this community, they need art. Art is what keeps things going. Art is the important thing in life. Art is what everybody needs. It's going to be, this is the last card of the deck. This is probably our last scene. We'll see. We'll close on the saloon, which was our target at the beginning. Was Kurt organised this trip to get to San Francisco, to perform at the saloon, to complete his own personal journey, to justify to himself that though he stole his lover's art and he gave it off as himself, denying his lover at the time for the fame that they deserved, it was Kurt's opportunity to do his art, to show his creativity, to be on the stage and perform, not be at school anymore and perform in front of the children and perform in front of people, but perform in front of his peers, perform in front of people that he needs them to understand him and he needs them to respect him. Oh, it's red. If it was black, it was going to be a whole bunch of people with neuroscapes on, and they were going to be in there. He was going to open the door, and it was just going to be like the equivalent of an opium den, but with neuroscapes. But it's a red card, but it's a low red card, so it's just, so there are some people in there. It's no longer a bar serving alcohol. There's a few coffee pots in there. Oh, we might have an upbeat ending. Let's see if we can have an upbeat ending. Cool. So he goes in, there's coffee pots. If she's in there, if he's and so the person who's, let's do that. Let's have the person who's organising it is Kurt's ex-partner. So Kurt's ex-partner is organising it. They look a little bit unsure as Kurt comes in. We'll just do we won't drag that scene out too much. Kurt is going to go to somebody who is making coffee, and Kurt will ask for, so there's not much speaking. Molly goes in with Rocket and sits down. Kurt will go across to this makeshift bar where there's sort of some primus stoves that are being used to heat up water to make coffee, almost instant coffee. Kurt will take 2 tin cups of coffee, take one over to Molly, put one in front of her, take the other one, and then he's going to walk over and talk to somebody. They are going to embrace. Kurt is going to hang his head and then seem to ask a question, and then Kurt is going to walk across to the stage, stand at the side whilst there's someone doing, I don't know, beat poetry, and then Kurt is going to step up onto the stage. I'm not very good at poetry, so I'm just going to have to do something instead. But I can make his roll, and if he fails a roll, then then it's not my fault if it's rubbish. And Kurt, in the closing scenes of our series of the Electric State, Kurt is going to stand in front of this small pocket of what's left of the Poetry Society of San Francisco at this end, and Kurt is going to address them and attempt to do his own creation, where he is going to tell a poem, and we would have in the TV series I'm making all this on the fly because this wasn't how I wanted it to be, an ending, a right downer. He is going to tell the story of their journey, of the excitement of leaving, and we'll have cutscenes. It's bits that, you know, use up the footage. Scenes of them getting ready in the car, of the drive to Los Angeles, of Don's excitement to get his surfboard fixed. We're going to skim over the bar bit. Oh no, of the urban desolation that they encounter after leaving Baker, of travelling up the coast. We will just have Kurt's view of the Air Force Base, because we know that Kurt went and spoke to his sister's memorial plaque and spoke to his sister and took Rocket there. He is going to tearfully, but not break down, but still we'll see him tearfully talk about that. Then we'll have a big focus on watching Don surf and watching somebody who he didn't understand. Then I'm always going to cry. Then understanding him due to seeing him surf and express his love for the world around him, as Kurt will continue telling the story of them moving them back up, and then the loss of that person who then risked himself to save Kurt, and then coming and seeing the Golden Gate Bridge and seeing the bridge in its desolation and how that affected Molly, and now being able to tell that story to the people around him, thanking them for listening to him and thanking them for hearing his story. Oh, nice one, Kurt. And he gets 3 hits. And that's where we will end the Electric State, with Kurt telling his story to a small audience of people in a once vibrant bar in San Francisco, which is now slowly dying as the rest of the city and the world does to the Electric State. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey. That is the end of the Electric State. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. Sometimes it's more upbeat. Thank you so much to the, I think it's that way. Thank you so much to the Adventurers Guild for all of your support. If you'd like to join the Adventurers Guild, there's a link over there. And that's it for the Electric State. Next week we'll do something else. I have a whole heap pile of mini little indie games that I'd like to give a go to. There'll probably just be one session things. We'll do that for a bit and then we'll work out what we do next. That's it. Thank you very much. See ya.